You can feel it happening right now. This moment arriving, becoming the past, gone, while the next one rushes in to take its place. Time flowing like a river you can't step out of. It's the most obvious fact of your life. So here's something strange. When physicists write down the deepest laws of the universe, that flowing river isn't in them. The now you're living in, the thing that feels more real than anything, appears nowhere in the fundamental equations, which forces a question that sounds absurd until you look closely, and then it won't let you go. Start with the view every human being is born believing. Time flows. The past is fixed and gone. The future is open and not yet here. And separating them is a single universal now, the same instant ticking for you, for me, for a star on the other side of the galaxy. He made this official. He described time as absolute, a cosmic clock ticking in the background, everywhere, at the same rate, no matter what. It's clean, it's intuitive, it matches everything you've ever experienced. There's just one problem: it's wrong. In 1905, Einstein showed that time is not a fixed background, it bends, it stretches. How fast your clock ticks depends on how fast you're moving, and later, on how strong the gravity around you is. Move quickly, and your time slows relative to someone standing still. Sit deeper in gravity, and your time slows relative to someone higher up. There is no single master clock. Your now and mine can genuinely disagree. And this isn't a thought experiment. We measure it every single day. The GPS in your pocket relies on satellites whose clocks tick faster than yours because gravity is weaker up there. Left uncorrected, that tiny mismatch would throw your location off by miles within a single day. Take two of the world's best atomic clocks and lift one just a few centimeters higher than the other, and it ticks measurably faster. Time literally runs at a different rate near your head than at your feet, and particles called muons, born high in the atmosphere, should decay long before reaching the ground. They arrive anyway, because moving so fast, their internal clocks run slow. Deru. So relativity hands us something staggering. If there's no universal now, if the present moment is different for everyone, then the past and the future can't be special. They're just other places you're not standing. Many physicists take this to its conclusion, the block universe. In this picture, all of time already exists, every moment, past and future, equally real, laid out like a landscape. Nothing flows, nothing becomes. The year 1400 and the year 3000 are just as real as this sentence. You simply can't see them from where you sit. Einstein himself, near the end of his life, called the division between past, present, and future a stubbornly persistent illusion. But wait, if time doesn't really flow, why are you so sure it does? Why can you remember yesterday but not tomorrow? Here's the deep clue. Almost every fundamental law of physics works perfectly backwards. Film two particles colliding, run it in reverse, and it's still a legal, physically valid event. At the level of the basic rules, there's no arrow pointing from past to future. Almost none. There's one exception, and it may be the source of everything you feel about time. It's called entropy, the tendency for things to go from order to disorder. A cup shatters, it never spontaneously reassembles. Milk stirs into coffee, it never unstirs. Heat spreads out, it never gathers back. This one-way slide from order toward disorder is the second law of thermodynamics, and it's the only law with a built-in direction. So why does time seem to flow that way? Because our universe began in an astonishingly ordered low entropy state and has been spreading out ever since. The arrow of time may simply be that slide. You remember the past and not the future because memory itself is a physical record, and forming it increases disorder in step with the arrow. In other words, maybe time doesn't flow. Maybe you are sliding down a mountain of entropy and calling the slide the passage of time. Now it gets stranger. When physicists try to merge our two greatest theories, relativity and quantum mechanics, into one theory of everything, something bizarre happens. In one of the most famous equations from that effort, the variable for time simply drops out. The universe's most fundamental description may not contain time at all. Physicists call this the problem of time, and it is very much unsolved. Faced with this, brilliant people split. And this is a live debate, not a settled answer. Some, like physicist Julian Barbour, argue time truly does not exist. There is no flow and no river, only a vast collection of individual nows, moments that simply are, with no thread running through them. The sense of motion is a story we assemble from the still frames. Others, like Carlo Rovelli, take a middle path. Time is real for us, but not fundamental. It emerges from our blurry, incomplete view of a universe far too detailed to track, and from that same entropy arrow. Zoom in far enough, and the single flowing time dissolves into a web of events with no master clock, and others push back hard. Physicist Lee Smolin argues the opposite, that time is the most real thing there is, so real that even the laws of physics might change and evolve within it. Three serious thinkers, three incompatible answers. That's not a failure, that's the honest edge of what we know. So let's come back to you, because there's one place the flow of time is undeniably real, your experience of it. Your brain builds a now. It stitches memory into a past, projects imagination into a future, and holds a thin sliver of the present that feels like it's moving. But notice what that means. The flow of time might not be a feature of the universe out there. It might be a feature of what it's like to be a mind inside it. A creature made of memory, riding the entropy arrow, mistaking its own motion for the motion of everything. The universe may hold no single present moment, but you do, and that might not make your now less real. It might make it yours in a way nothing else in physics can touch. So, does time actually exist? The honest answer is that the flowing river you feel so certain of may be the one part physics can't find. There's no universal now. The deepest equations may not need time at all. And yet here you are, unmistakably, in this moment, the only place you have ever been or ever will be. Maybe that's the real lesson hiding inside the physics. If this present is the only now the universe grants you, not guaranteed, not universal, not repeatable, then it isn't something to rush through on the way to the next one. It's the whole thing, and you're in it right now. There's your curiosity for today. If time feels a little stranger and this moment feels a little more precious than it did 8 minutes ago, then it did its job. Stay curious with Curiosarium.